What's up guys, it's Command and we are back with episode 2 of Zero to Hero, my PvM journey from the very bottom to the very top. Or at least I like to tell myself that. We'll see how far I actually get. Last time, in the first episode of Zero to Hero, I set a goal for myself. I have been doing EP2 with my duo partner, Squishy. He's the one that you see me running the dungeon with right now. And our goal was to get a codex drop. It didn't matter from which boss because they do have 3 different codexes that will drop in Elite Dungeons 2. Now right over here, whoa, can we just take it back for just a second because that was so perfect. That was so clean. Just look at that. That is what I like to call duo goals right there. We are just in sync for this. And I have to say, I'm not surprised because we have done a lot of this. We have it down to a science. We have done so much Elite Dungeons 2 in the hopes of actually getting a codex drop, and it's almost demoralizing, I have to say, every time you down another boss and you realize you've been doing this for days and you haven't seen a codex drop yet. But I like to think to myself, I like to be positive and say, this could be the one, this could be the kill, and we put in the time, we put in the work, and we finally pulled it out of the fire because right here we have a Greater Barge Codex drop that is 406 million GP, huge chunk of the way towards Greater Ricochet or ECB, some upgrades we have left, and you'll see that the value of the chest after the drop is 71 mil. Now this is important because I spoke with some of my friends and we set some goals, or rather some estimations about what we thought the value of the chest was going to be. My friend Squishy estimated 56 million GP, my friend Akrita estimated 69 million, and the actual value was 71. So they were both under the mark a little bit, which is kind of positive, and I will take positivity almost any day of the week, so I'm happy to see that. Now, we put in a bunch of work. It took about a week and a half to get the codex drop, so I decided to take a break, go and have some fun, get back to the comfortable stuff. So here we have necks. We've done a bunch of necks in the meantime, kind of just as a PvM vacation before I start episode 2 of this adventure. Sometimes it's going to be me solo, sometimes you're going to see me with my duo partner. In any case, I'm really excited. This kill is really tough. We're on the final phase of necks here. I almost die here in just a second, but managed to pull it from the fire just perfectly, and we eke out a kill. This is huge here. It's an interesting kill because we managed to get a drop. Now, it's not a huge drop, just Torva boots, but hey, it's somewhere in the range of 35 mil, and I'll take it any day of the week, especially over some Pernix. Also decided that I wanted to try and get some more variety in terms of the bosses that I did. Reason being that there's a lot of stuff in the game I still haven't tried, there's a lot of bosses I haven't given a shot at, and I decided I wanted to try and step outside of my comfort zone for a change. So here we're on Yakamaru, which is the second boss of the Mazcab raids in RuneScape. It's actually something I've never done before. You're seeing my second ever kill of this boss, and it's actually on the same day within roughly the same hour or two. So this is one of my first times ever doing this raid, and I want to say thank you so much to my clan because they're the ones that made it possible. We have a lot of great people. They go above and beyond to schedule the events, to teach learners, and to get me in there. So thanks to them, I was able to get in even though I had no idea what I was doing, learn the fight, or at least the basic mechanics of the fight. As you can see here, I'm kind of still slightly lost as I parade around the arena trying to figure out what is happening. It's definitely a lot to keep track of as a beginner, but I do want to make sure that I'm pushing myself out of that comfort zone, because the only way to really get better is to try hard, and I think that trying hard is the goal of this series, and my goal personally. So very second kill here. Of course, the raids have the chance to drop the Mazcab ability codex, which is the source of the corruption blast and shot, which are almost absolute necessities in late game PvE. You also have the ability to get the onslaught ability, which is just huge. It's great for phasing next through blood phase if you're weak on DPS check, and it's great for Araxor. And second kill, unfortunately not first, but we managed to pull a Mazcab codex out of the fire, so that was just absolutely huge. I wish I could say that I learned an ability off that one, because I am still missing my magic corruption blast, but I honestly just vendored it because why not? Here we go, we're on Virago now. This is another boss that I'm doing for the very first time here. I think you're seeing my second or third kill on screen. Same deal as before. Thankfully, my clan was nice enough to teach me the boss and schedule an event that allowed me to even have the opportunity to try it. Virago is a super interesting one because unlike a lot of other bosses, he does have mechanics that change, similar to Araxor, and which paths are open and by extension what the mechanics are for the boss. But super interesting boss, second time ever doing it, and I have to say it was a lot of fun, a lot of complexity, but not too difficult if you have a good team who knows what they're doing, and thankfully I have a great team which absolutely just manages to carry me through this boss. So as much as I'd like to say it was difficult or even that I contributed a ton, I kind of have no idea what was happening here. In the future, though, I'd like to get some more Virago in, learn the mechanics of the boss to a deeper level, and hopefully be able to bring you guys some good footage and maybe some analyses of the boss itself. So right here, we're at the end of the kill. We've just put in a bunch of work. This boss is one that takes quite a bit of time. It's not a quick kill whatsoever, but we're almost there. And as you can see, one of my clanmates is about to come in right there for the kill. Such an awesome scene, I have to say. Doesn't matter if you've seen this 5 times, 10 times, 50 times, or 100 times. My clanmates assure me that it is awesome to watch every single time. Unfortunately, we didn't get any big drops from this one, but it was a great learning experience, and I can't complain about the opportunity whatsoever. So I also wanted to take a moment in this episode and talk a little bit about our current achievements and the things we're setting out to do in the future. So the astute among you may have noticed that there's one change in our setup from last time round, and that is primarily that we're using the Tyrian Wind Quiver. However, it is the tier 1. It's an easy quiver to get. You get it from the tier 1 tasks in Prif. There are up to 4 tiers, which all represent big upgrades, and we've also got the Illuminated Book of Wisdom, which is the Saradomin book. It's more expensive to use per hour, but it's far better for single target DPS, so it's a solid upgrade to make. We've also set a couple of goals for us here in the future, and I want to talk about why. So the first goal that we're going to be aiming for is upgrading our Quiver. In the short term, we're going to upgrade to Quiver tier 2, but we are eventually going to be upgrading all the way to the 4th Quiver. Each one represents an extra prayer point in terms of upgrade from the last, so the tier 1 is 1 point, the tier 1 is 2 points, so on and so forth. I'm sure you can note the difference right over here. Now, if you're wondering why we're talking about the prayer bonuses of these things, it's because I have a plan that makes sense in my head. Right now, we are using Fleeting Boots and Nightmare Gauntlets. Those are great QOL upgrades and huge damage upgrades, but as you've noticed, we lose the +4 prayer bonus that we get from our Pernix gloves and our Pernix boots, which is kind of painful, especially given how much you're praying in high-level PvM. So I've concocted a plan. If you take a look here, you'll see that the 4th tier of the Quiver gives you a +4 prayer bonus, and the astute among you might have noticed that a -4 plus a +4 represents a net 0 change, which is what we're aiming for. So by upgrading to this Quiver, we can actually get back the prayer points we've sacrificed. We also have a goal that I've set to get a Planted Feet offhand switch. Now when I say that, I mean actually get the switch ourselves. I want to go to Grigorovic, get specifically the offhand Shadowglaive drop, and augment it myself. Planted Feet is a huge damage upgrade, 25% when using Death Swiftness and Sunshine, which are both just huge abilities. They represent easily the biggest damage abilities for their style. In the future, I don't know if it'll be the video after the next one or further on, but I would like to try to make Trimmed Masterwork from scratch. This is going to be a goal here, guys. Trimmed Masterwork is super hard to make, but it is super good, especially when it's trimmed. That set bonus is just absolutely game-changing. So I want to try and get the ore that we need, make it into the bars myself, build the masterwork myself, go and get the next kills to get the Porpha, to make the parts, to make the trim, to make the trimmed masterwork. Ideally, we're going to aim to make a full set of trimmed masterwork, and we're going to do it from absolute scratch. So if you guys are curious to see how deep my masochism runs, you're absolutely going to find out, because somehow I've convinced myself that this is a good idea. Famous last words. So we have a lot of things to get to. We have a lot planned for the future. So let's get to it.